proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Mr. Gonzalez. This is going to be what kind of plea, Ms. Morgan?
Your Honor, this will be deferred adjudication.
Okay. Mr. Gonzalez, before we proceed, I need to discuss with you verbally some constitutional rights and protections that you must be aware of.
Yes, sir.
This verbal discussion is being recorded officially as part of an official record by Ms. Kayleen Rivera. She's our court reporter. You first have the right to remain silent. That means you don't have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit paperwork that has your signature, especially papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. Do you understand you have those rights?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to a jury trial. That means that you and your attorney and the state's attorneys would pick from a jury panel 6 people who would hear the evidence in this case and decide whether you are guilty or not guilty. You understand you have that right?
Yes, sir.
With that right of a jury trial, you'd have the right to confront witnesses, meaning that you and your attorney could ask questions, cross-examine or challenge any witness who would testify in a trial of any kind. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to an appeal. That essentially is the right that you would exercise or your attorney would exercise, or both of you together would, in a manner using the right paperwork and using and understanding the right time limits, you demand a higher court review the official record, the evidence, and the results of this hearing for whatever challenge you wanted to make. However, in this particular case, you're going to be giving up that right. Do you understand that?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
You also have a right to have this proceeding heard in an open public courtroom. Just to be real clear, the state also has that right. It's an individual right. They have the right and you have the right. Because of the pandemic, we're not doing open public courtroom hearings at this time. Instead, we're doing what you're seeing or participating in right now. It's a video conference that's being placed on YouTube, and that is public in the sense that anyone in the public can tune in, see everything that's going on, and hear everything that's going on. That is the right to a public trial or public proceeding. Do you understand you have that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, because you agreed to a plea agreement, a deal, all these rights that we have just now discussed, you're giving those up. Did you know and understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, I'm going to show you some documents. All of these will be in writing, and they will repeat perhaps 2 or 3 times the different rights that we've just discussed. That'll be part of what's in the documents. All of these documents, with one exception, are going to start off with what I call identifying information. It'll be repeated on each different document. The first information is the case number, 657887. It says cause number. Then it says the state of Texas versus Richard Gonzalez in County Court of Law number 5, Bexar County, Texas. That part will be repeated. Then below that identifying information, each document will be identified in bold print, all capitals. This first one, as I mentioned earlier, the right of the state to hold this hearing in a public courtroom. This is the state's consent to video conference. Now, we're giving up the demand or the right to hold this in public courtroom. It is signed by Ms. Caitlin C. Morgan on behalf of the state. The second document, again, identifying information. And then the title in this case is Discovery Acknowledgement. The very first line talks about Article 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. That is a law that requires the state, the prosecutors, to share with you and your attorney all the information and evidence in this case that's required by law. Excuse me. This is signed at the bottom there by Ms. Morgan and by your attorney, Ms. Alma Benavides. They're saying to the world and in the public document that that law has been obeyed. Okay? Did you see and understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now we have your document. This one is where you have signed and Ms. Thorne have signed. Is that correct? I'm sorry, Ms. Benavides.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir, I did. Yes.
All right, this next document is called Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. This is one of the ones that repeats most of the rights that we discussed earlier, but this is in writing. This is particularly important because it says assault, bodily injury, family, or household. These are really serious charges because they can affect, among other things, state and federal laws regarding your right to have a weapon.
Correct.
Have you been fully informed about that?
Yes, sir.
Now, this document, after the first 3 sentences, where you admit to knowing what you're charged with and where you say that you're going to plead nolo contendere, these, the rest of the document is divided into 15 numbered sections or portions. Some of them are just one sentence, some of them are paragraphs. Number 1 talks about the punishment for this offense. There's a check mark among the vertical boxes that identify the different ranges of punishment. This first one, this one is checked off, says this is Class A fine from $0 to $4,000 and jail from 0 days to 1 year in jail. Did you see and understand that?
Yes, sir.
Please read for me number 2.
Attorney service. I am mentally
No, number 2. You started to read 3.
yes. I understand I have the right to a jury trial, a right to cross-examination of witnesses, and the right to remain silent. I freely and voluntarily give up those rights.
Did you understand what you just read?
Yes, sir, I do. Yes, Your Honor.
You read all of these, you read all these 15 sections and you understand what they have?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
And you've agreed to waive all these rights and you understand what you're doing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you started to read number 3. It talks about mental competence. Have you ever had any mental health issues or problems?
No, sir. No, Your Honor.
All right. Number 4 talks about the plea of nolo contendere. You know what that is?
Number 4?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Yes, sir.
All right. Have you ever been involved in the sex offender registration program?
No, sir. No, Your Honor.
All right. Where were you born, sir?
USA, Texas, San Antonio.
All right. That makes you a U.S. citizen. That'll be reflected in the documents of this case. And you have read or had read for you all 15 paragraphs, including number 15 that says you're giving up the right to a risk and needs assessment. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, yes, Your
All
Honor.
right. After reviewing this and having your attorney assist you, you signed it. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The document you're seeing now has the identifying information. And then the title of this document is Trial Courts, Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. There's a stack of little vertical boxes, and each one is a different right of appeal or involves a different right. The fifth box will be marked by the court staff, and I will be signing this document. I am saying to you, number 5, this is a plea bargain case and the defendant has no right of appeal. It's in writing. Do you understand it?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
When you and your attorney signed it too.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This document now is called Application for Deferred Adjudication. The identifying information at the top, then it's got a lot of information. Did you carefully go over that information?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Did you know and understand what it says?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I want to review it with you a little bit.
Okay.
Deferred adjudication is a very beneficial deal for you. Your plea of nolo contendere, which I'll officially accept shortly, that is sufficient for me to convict you. But your attorney has succeeded in getting a deal for you where I will not convict you at this time. It's called a deferred adjudication, a deferred decision, a postponed decision. If you live up to 100%, and I mean that literally, 100% of the conditions of supervision, then the case will be closed and you are not convicted of it. If you screw up, you fail or refuse to live up to 100%, every bit of it, then the state can ask me to give you official notice. We can have a hearing, and as a result of the hearing, I can give you a final conviction. If that happens, you're looking at 100% of the range of punishment, a fine $0 to $4,000, and jail from 0 days to 1 year. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. That's very clear. Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that very clearly. All right.
Yes, sir.
Now you're seeing the personal data sheet. That one has your personal information. It says you're working for ABC Supply full-time. How long have you been working with them?
6 going on 7 years.
Very good. So you're well established.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
You have 3 references that are clearly marked or reported there.
Yes.
They'll always be able to find you pretty well. Is that true?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Again, I don't know if you filled that out, but there is no such thing as a Hispanic race. It's either white, black, yellow. But
Okay.
just be aware of that.
Yes.
You have
Okay.
one dependent. How old is your dependent?
He's 19.
All right. So technically, that's not a dependent because he's an adult. All right. Do you have
Okay.
any heavy medical debts or anything?
No, sir. No, Your Honor. No.
Right now. I'm sorry, Patricia, wrote it back. What is your total income? You're getting $24.40 an hour.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. And you were making that money when you received the assistance of Ms. Benavides?
Yes, sir.
There's something wrong with that, Patricia. A gentleman with officially zero dependents getting $24.40 an hour gets a court-appointed attorney. That is not correct.
I'm checking the system now, Judge.
Did you report that income when you applied for a court-appointed
Yes.
attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alrighty.
Your Honor, that was completed at the Bexar County Jail. That's a system appointment. March 25th, 2021.
Does it show $24.40 an hour income?
I don't have access to that. I just show that Alma Benavides was appointed off the system, which means they did the interview at the jail.
All right. I might
Correct.
ask, I might need you to inquire into that, Patty, because that's, like I said, 24.40 an hour is not appropriate. We throw
Your
a
Honor,
1,000 a week.
I'm not sure if they considered that one dependent. I'm not sure what he put as far as dependents.
Well, let's say that there was. Was still a lot of money for a court-appointed attorney, but that's okay. We'll take that up later.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Next document, Patricia. Incidentally, be very aware that you cannot afford to be getting this kind of charge against you anymore.
Yes, correct.
I will be supervising, this court will be supervising you very carefully about that.
Yes, sir.
Don't get in trouble like this again.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
You'll find that I will not be forgiving depending upon the evidence.
Yes, Your Honor.
The plea agreement, this identifying information does not show the court, but that doesn't need to. You'll see the 2 boxes that are checked off, including that you are a U.S. citizen. Then there's 5 boxes vertically stacked. Did you and your attorney review those 5 boxes and check them off?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You're charged with assault, bodily injury, family, household. Ms. Benavides, you have carefully advised this gentleman about the results of family, household, bodily injury charges.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. To that charge, sir, how do you plead?
No contest.
A no contest, as I said earlier, is considered a guilty plea in this court. It is sufficient for me to convict you. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I am ordering you to appear within 7 days here at the offices of the County Court of Law number 5. They are in the hallway behind the courtroom. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
You need to come in so they can have your thumbprint placed on the appropriate documents that are required by law. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, I am honoring a portion of your agreement. You're granted deferred adjudication for a term of 12 months. I'm going to adjust the fine. We'll come back to that shortly. You have 48 hours of community service restitution to perform. You will attend the anti-anger, the APSE program, completed in good faith. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
The supervisory fee will be $56 a month.
That was supervisor.
I've got to find my place here. Here we are. Now I'm going to repeat something so you know it very clearly.
Yes, sir.
If I give you a sentence within the proper range, but it is higher than what you agreed to, you have the right to reject it and start all over again. On the fine, well, pardon me, the supervisory fee I've already stated is $56 a month. On the fine, it will be $1,000, and there will be none of it forgiven. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I have given you a punishment that is greater than what you agreed to, that gives you the right to start all over again, reject, what you might say, reject my rejection and start all over. Which do you wish to do? Do you want to accept that fine, or do you want to start all over?
I'll go ahead and accept the fine, sir, Your Honor.
I think you should. I'm glad that you're accepting it, because I think you've gotten a hell of a good deal just by getting a deferred adjudication on this. Mr. Gonzalez, one of the worst things that two people can do to each other is to hurt each other, especially when they started off family members or spouses. You start off loving each other and then you wind up hurting each other. No need for that. Whenever you get angry, you walk away. And even if somebody keeps yakking at you, a member of your family or your spouse, whoever, walk away.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did this involve your spouse?
No, sir. I'm single.
Okay. Who did it involve?
It was my sister.
All right. Well, you know, people can get upset with each other. Walk away.
Yes, Your Honor.
Learn how to handle it.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you come back and we have to convict you, you'll find that the world hates people like that. So
Yes, Your Honor.
behave yourself. Take care of each other.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions, sir?
No, sir. Everything's been very clear.
All right. Ms. Benavides,
Yes, Your Honor.
any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Morgan,
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.